Now let's move on to the next data structure, which is tuple. And everyone's clear with this component, right? Great. So tuple is now basically, again, an ordered collection of one or more data items. Can you guys look at this and tell me what is the difference between a tuple and a list? The list that we were seeing was being represented with square brackets, right? But the tuple is being represented with parentheses. And one of the biggest differences between a list and a tuple is fundamentally the fact that a tuple is an immutable object. What is a tuple? A tuple has basically everything similar to a list. So it can also have different data types. You can have strings and texts mixed up in a tuple as well. But the biggest and most important thing to consider is it is, what is it? It is an immutable data type. You cannot mute a tuple. You cannot modify a tuple. So let's say if you want to create indexes, right, somewhere, then probably tuple will be the right way to go about it, because you know that no one will be able to mess up with those indexes. Now put up the same here as well. So, and that's how you write your tuples, right? Very similar to the list, only difference is that you have square brackets here and you cannot modify a tuple. When I say not modify a tuple, let's look at the example. Can you guys do one thing? Can you guys change the second element in your list one from Java to RStudio real quick? So that second element that I had in my list one, I'm going to try to change it to RStudio. And I've changed it, and let's see what I get out of it. If I print list one, you guys see that I have changed it because my original list one had Java here instead of RStudio, but now I have changed it to RStudio, right? Perfect. Now the same thing, guys, I want you to create this tuple, and let's look at the immutable nature of the tuple. So I've created this tuple. Now I will try to do the same thing with the tuple. I will try to change the Java to RStudio in this tuple that I created. What is it? See the output? Guys, yes? Can't be muted, right? It threw an error. So that's one critical thing that you need to keep in mind while dealing with tuples. And now, simply the thing is that you cannot be modifying the elements in the tuple. And because of this non-modifiable nature, right? Because the tuple does not give you that flexibility, because of that reason, it consumes very less memory as well, because you know that there is no assignment or there is no consideration that needs to be made within a tuple for any modification. So it will not have any additional blocks of memory that could be allocated when the need be, right? Because it was possible that in this second, like instead of Java, I have just written RStudio, right? Now Java was like a 4-letter word. RStudio was a 7-letter word. So of course, there'll be more memory that it might consume, right? By the tuple, we know that whatever is there, it's there. Now I don't need to assign any further thing to anything. So there's a less memory consumption for tuple compared to list and a dictionary.